Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Kathleen, also known as Kat. I'm a very proud owner of Mumsupials and Sons. So we run a mobile wildlife zoo that comes to you to all special occasions, demonstrating the conservation and saving the great deals of the ecological niche of our wildlife. So I specialise with a lot of possums, a lot of kangaroos, a lot of wombats, all the beautiful native wildlife that we have here across Australia have a significant reason why they're here. We have kangaroos that take care of all our grasslands, we have wombats that irrigate our soil, and we have the koalas that take care of our beautiful eucalyptus trees that are all around us today. So the main important question of travelling on our roads, and the main thing we ask ourselves, is how can we stop and how can we help the dangers around hitting wildlife on our roads while travelling? Well, the question lies within us as a community. We all have the right answers if we put our heads together. But unfortunately, we have some government side, we have some people sides that have all different reasons and measures that they like to take. The one thing that we like to professionalise ourselves on is having overpasses and underpasses for koalas. In just 30 years, we might not have koalas here, and that is really devastating to know. Koalas are so important to Australia. They take care of all our eucalyptus that we need so much. And not to mention, we have beautiful possums that help our koalas out. So I'm going to actually get one of my team members, which is also my son, to bring out one of my beautiful brush-tailed possums. Now, we specialise in a lot of brush-tailed possums, and that's due to the fact that a lot of people think they're pests. Well, this is not correct, and this is the underlying issue that we have. Possums are a huge priority here in Australia. They have a massive ecological niche that take care of all of our trees, our floral, our fauna, absolutely everything. Just a ringtail can poo a seed, and they can replant a plant that we may lose. So they are very crucial in keeping things revolving. So me and my team, we work all along Traralgon, Morwell, all Gippsland, Latrobe Valley, but we also work across Victoria. And much like every other team, we all have a passion for the same thing. So we join with carers, we join with mange management to help our local wombats, and yous all can get involved by doing this exact same thing. It's voluntary work, it's quite easy to take a step into that direction. So these are little steps that we can do as a community to help provide safety for our animals. Now, while driving on roads, we know by dusk the wildlife will come travelling out because they want to go on the nice fresh grass that's just along the side bends of the roads. Now, the one thing, it's not just animals that are getting hurt, it's us human beings as well. There is around 3,000 casualties of just humans that are interacting with wildlife on our roads. That is a big number. And then you have the fact that we have 100,000 kangaroos hit every year. And then we have 40,000 wallabies that are hit every year and 10,000 koalas. Now that is a massive drop. If we aren't going to have koalas in 30 years, just imagine what that number is doing. We only have 2,000 koalas left along the Strzelecki ranges. Now, them koalas are the first residents here, so they hold a very important role. They actually carry the gene in helping all our koalas across Australia. You can find all of our information at our marquee over at the back here, and we provide all that on hand. And I'll get Calvin here, my son, who's been a very big part of my business. Now, the most thing that I love to address is that kids need to get involved, whether it's teenagers, the young ones. We hold that power, yes. We hold the power of conversation. So we are a big part of believing that the front door to conservation is conservation. So we really need to push that boundary. So this little guy here is actually a really little special guy. he has traits of golden brush-tailed possum. So these guys are incredibly vulnerable here across Australia. Where Tasmania, you see the golden brush-tailed possum thriving due to the fact of no predators. So foxes are fully out of control over there. They're nowhere to be seen. And then you have the fact that they have cat rules. So cats have to be kept indoors of a night time for safety for your cat and for the wildlife. So this little guy here, his parents are full-blown golden brush-tailed possum. So even though he might look like a normal little guy to use, he's not. And he's incredibly vulnerable across Australia. So if a hawk, an eagle, even our apex predator, the dingo, they would prey on something like this little guy. And even if he was at 5 to 10 kilo, and yes, you heard me right, brush-tailed possums get to around 10 kilo, and that's even in the hotter parts as well. So this guy here, he's only around 3 months old, and his name is Chestnut for chestnut honey. So we actually have a golden brush-tail with us today, and she's over at our marquee, and her name is Miss Manuka. Now, we did a demonstration the other day explaining the dangers of our golden brush-tailed possums, and while I was playing that out, we had an eagle trying to take her. We actually had our demonstration come to life. And this is exactly the importance that we're trying to put awareness out to. If we see something, guys, we need to speak up. It's okay to speak up. It's not a terrible thing to say how you feel about our wildlife. And it's okay to make some boundaries and rules for yourself. That is totally okay. And it is totally okay to rescue. What you do after it, that's the issue. So when we do see something and we do hit it on our roads, the best thing to do is carry a pillowcase, a pair of scissors, and even sometimes a diary. And the reason why I say that is because we need the location. So if an animal has been hit and you are travelling along, definitely type in your coordinates because we definitely need those locations. Numbers are crucial. So if we get numbers, we have something to go off. So that is definitely the main part of what we do. We go by numbers, we go by observation, because everything is about watching and learning off our species. Now this little guy, he's very brave. He's not a little scared guy at all. And I'm sure most of you know that brush-tailed possums are full of energy. So this little guy will be a big mascot across Mumsupials and Sons with our golden brush-tailed possum, just to show the difference of the possums that we get. Ringtails are big pollinators, guys. They store seeds in their coat. They replant seeds by pooing. They'll even do a thing called coprophagia, and they'll re-eat their poo just so they get that double nutrients to replant a seed. These guys in general, they are omnivores. We have this talk a lot. They don't just eat fruit, plants and veg. They will give meat and boiled eggs and anything they can to go. They are like a bit of a bin chicken. They kind of like to give anything a bit of a chomp down. They'll even be known to eat carcasses. So these guys are a bit like us. They will try and give anything a go, and they live quite happily doing so. With a ringtail possum, their diet is very crucial, so they actually stick to all our native fauna. If they have too much fruit, they can actually die, and that is because of all the gas that they carry, where these guys don't seem to have a problem with that. So we need to make sure that we take care of everything that we have left here in Australia. When travelling, we have some beautiful landscapes, and when we travel, we see kangaroos bouncing, we see the koalas up in the trees, and we're always stopping to get a picture. Well, at the end of the day, that picture is perfect, but what lies beneath that picture can be quite nasty. We are living in a world where there's so much danger for our wildlife, and it is up to us as a community to help protect them. And it all starts with conversation, and all the little kids can really help by doing that, by schools, communities, having a talk to your local council, even joining with carers and volunteers, because all these little things help take the right step in the right direction. Would anyone like any questions answered? No? Would anyone like to come and meet us soon and meet our team and what we have? and get up close to some possums and some lizards. We're just at the back over there, so definitely feel free to pop on over and come and have some education with up close wildlife. You won't regret it. Thank you so much, guys.